10:29 a.m. here in northern New Mexico, and it is the second Wednesday of the month, and that means we get another installment of the Mounsey Minute from our buddy Gavin Mounsey in the Great White North. Now, I always include the links to recipesforreciprocity.com, his book, and I give you a link to all the previous Mounsey Minute posts on Media Monarchy. And as the extra bonus, I make it a standalone MP3 so you can share it with your friends. Maybe, like my mom, who won't listen to all kinds of swears and the gnarly monarchy. So it's a nice way to kind of, like that, that doctor group of fucking major label punks. So you got to keep them separated. Medicinal teas. Stacking functions with synergistic herbs, not herb, to create botanical infusions that heal and improve quality of life. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to present Mounsey Minute episode 25, Medicinal Tea Party.
This is Gavin Mounsey for Media Monarchy, and this is the Mounsey Minute. Happy New Year, everyone. This month I'm going to be talking about medicinal teas. At this time of year, it's chilly up here in the Northern Hemisphere, and I like to take a look at what I got in my apothecary, the stuff that I've dried from the garden and from the forest, and add those dried herbs together and make some medicinal teas. I can use the teas to address different parts of the body, so I have different synergistic herbs that I blend together to create botanical infusions that heal certain parts of the body. Over the past decade, as I've sought to use food as medicine, I found that on that path to perceive, access, and synergistically combine the contents of nature's medicine cabinet to stay healthy and to heal, and sometimes to enhance the function of already healthy parts of the body, medicinal tea has been a really powerful tool in that toolkit for enhancing health sovereignty. For those that are learning to grow as much medicinal herbs in their own garden as possible, while also learning to recognize wild medicinal plants and fungi in the forest, drying herbs and fungi for enjoying as tea throughout the year is one of the most effective modalities where you can plan ahead for combining those herbs and fungi to create delicious and medicinally potent herbal infusions. Year-round, like in the summer, I'll make my herbal infusions in the evening, and then I'll put them in the fridge overnight, so I've got something that not only quenches my thirst on the hot summer days, but also offers potent medicinal benefits for either like replenishing my muscular workout or for doing something for the circulatory system, immune system, eye health, or a number of other things. Some of the medicinal ingredients I cover in my article on medicinal teas include, but is not limited to, ginkgo leaves, the 5-flavor fruit, elderberry, anise hyssop, echinacea, yarrow, stinging nettle, staghorn sumac berries, horsetail, tulsi, cannabis, goji berry leaves, ginger, turmeric, white pine needles, Douglas fir needles, larch needles, eastern hemlock needles, Scotch pine needles, birch leaves, among many other things, including the bee balm, which is an article I just published. So I'll go over a few of the different specialized health lists that you can make teas that address certain health issues, and then I'll give one example of one that I make typically for the immune system. In the article, I provide specific lists for synergistic medicinal tea combinations for optimizing the certain parts of the body or addressing specific issues related to the innate immune system, brain health, eye health, bone health, fertility and reproductive health, cardiovascular health, a general detoxification list, a spike protein detox tea, and radioprotective tea ingredients. For an example of the type of tea I like to make on a day-to-day basis, my typical work tea blend usually consists of some regeneratively farmed yerba mate leaves or some green tea, ginger rhizome, mint, nettle, a pinch of holy basil, a handful of dried garden berries like service berries, goji berries, or black currants. And then from that foundation, if I'm expecting a day of heavy lifting, intense endurance, I might add something that's going to help my circulatory system and muscles like Rhodolia rosea or golden root, cordyceps mushroom, or 5-flavor fruit. Or if my day is going to require less physically intense activities but more mental focus, I might add something like ginkgo biloba and ginseng, turmeric, and lion's mane mushrooms. Or if I was starting to feel under the weather and I was feeling a cold coming on and I wanted to make sure I didn't get any more sick, I might specialize the tea by adding echinacea, pine needles, chaga mushroom, anise hyssop, yarrow, and bee balm. As I was saying to someone that had a post about resisting the oligarchy on Substack recently, I find that simple things like learning to identify pine species that you can save needles from, or spruce, or things like Douglas fir, is a really simple but powerful act because you actually get access to a localized form of vitamin C You have the shikimic acid in there that's amazing for your immune system. So you're essentially boycotting big ag and these big monocultures that are growing chemical-soaked oranges in different places of the world if you're going to do orange juice instead. And you're also just taking back your power medicinally. You're developing medicinal sovereignty. And you can do so in a way where you're learning about the trees. You're doing it in a respectful way. You're taking, say, the tree branches that are pressing against the other trees, so they weren't going to be able to grow more anyways. You're just helping the tree to get more air. And for things like anise, hyssop, yarrow, bee balm, and echinacea, when I source them in the wild, I harvest, but I also save seeds and spread the seeds. So it's a way that you're harvesting locally, but also increasing biodiversity and food for pollinators. Well, that's it for me this month, guys. I hope this inspires you to take a look at the list, see what things might be growing locally that you can harvest for medicinal tea, or find it from a good reputable source that's organic, and you can start drinking your way to health sovereignty one cup at a time.
Tea ships near to Boston lying on the wharf, a numerous crew, sons of freedom never dying, then appeared in view. With a rinktum-dinktum, fa-la-linktum, then appeared in view. With a rinktum-dinktum, fa-la-linktum, then appeared in view. Armed with hammers, axes, chisels, weapons new for warlike deeds, toward the taxed freighted vessels, on they came with speed. With a rinktum-dinktum, fa-la-linktum, on they came with speed. With a rinktum-dinktum, fa-la-linktum, on they came with speed. Overboard she goes, my boys, heave-ho, where darkling waters roar. We love our cup of tea full well, but love our freedom more. With a rinktum-dinktum, fa-la-linktum, love our freedom more. With a rinktum-dinktum, fa-la-linktum, love our freedom more. Deep into the sea descended cursed weed of China's coast. Thus at once our fears were ended, right shall not be lost. With a rinktum-dinktum, fa-la-linktum, right shall not be lost. With a rinktum-dinktum, fa-la-linktum, right shall not be lost.
Burl Ives and Encyclopedia Britannica, promoting freedom and liberty more than freedom and liberty, people. The Ballad of the Tea Party. I want a copy of this now. Historical America in Song, released in 1950 by Encyclopedia Britannica Films, is an album set by folk singer Burl Ives. Each of these 6 albums consists of 5 12-inch vinylite records for a total of 30 78 RPM records. Each album has its own cover with a drawing of course, the giant obelisk known as the Washington Monument on it. Album set designed to be used in 4 types of academic courses: music appreciation, American history, literature, and social studies. Each song was selected and is introduced by Ives, and the introductions establish the mood and the songs and the time and the place up to the point of the significance of the songs and highlight their most important elements. The following albums make up the set: Songs of the Colonies, Songs of the Revolution, which we just heard a cut from, Songs of North and South, Songs of the Sea, Songs of the Frontier, and Songs of Expanding America. And Leon's getting larger. Huge thanks to my man Hybrid returning to the Media Monarchy Kingdom to create cover art for bands that in this case do exist in and outside of the Media Monarchy Kingdom. That is Gavin Mounsey's Medicinal Tea Party. And help my man out at sillylines.art. My finances are in kind of a mess, so we are unable to pay him well at the moment, but you can. Also, yeah, I inverted it. I inverted the colors. Black borders on my black website make the covers look like they've shrunk in the dryer. Damn, y'all are some tea heads. And I do admit, that was pretty much the main thing we always had in the fridge. Maybe occasionally would have a 2-liter of soda, but that would usually only kind of come around like, oh, we got a pizza or we got a thing. Mom's iced tea in the fridge all the time. So I'll definitely have to send her this episode. The chat notes, we do tea every day. Just steeped a ginger, bay leaf, honey, lemon tea. Perfect timing. I've been downing thyme tea to stave off the cold everyone has. We use sage and mint and mullein in green tea. I believe we grow mullein. It just friggin' grows here in the yard. My best tea was a Tulsi cannabis tea from ground up stems. I did it as an experiment. Awesome. I can use the stems and the tea is tasty with a feeling of optimism. We grow anise hyssop. I love it as iced tea in the summer. Anise hyssop is my favorite to infuse in honey. Tastes like cotton candy. Golden tea has been my jam. Ginger to the max. People were selling white pine needles to prevent the coof. Yeah, but does it stop the long COVID? Hemlock tea, you say? Can we make some of that for statists? And my beef chili with beans is working. Those chilies got me sweating out all my toxins and resentments. Raleigh, can you mail me some? I can balance out my soup and tea.